Good morning, dear students. Let us continue with the class where we have left yesterday. So, in the previous class, we saw what is history, prehistory, and proto-history, the differences between three of them. Today, we will continue the next topic. Please go to page number 102, which will tell us about the importance of studying the past events. I've already given you some of the importance or the reasons behind studying history. Why do we need to study history? Yesterday, when we talked about the introduction about history, so some of the points we will see that is mentioned in this topic has been already discussed. So let us see now what this point tells us more about the importance or more about why do we need to learn history. Let us look into the book. As I read the text, please take your textbook and follow me. History is regarded as a systematic record of the past events in the order in which they happened. I repeat, systematic record, not just only record, it's systematic, which means in sequence, okay, as per the happenings of the events. So it is regarded as a systematic record of the past event in the order in which they happen. And next, if you see, the motivation for studying history comes from actually the curiosity to know about the lives of our predecessors, how they lived in the past. If you're really interested in knowing new things or in knowing about the past, okay, so this past, now you can say that how come this past is new? This past may not be new if you look in terms of history, but it is new for me, it is new for you, it is new for each one of us who is unaware about the knowledge or about the things which took place in the past. So when we learn something which we don't know, that is called new, right? So same way like that. So history is actually basically it gives you a kind of knowledge about the lives that the people lived in the past, and it is in fact, as I told you, it plays a kind of a very important role, in shaping our present. Remember last class discussion that our present is connected with the past, and depending upon our present, our future will be shaped. So we can also say that study of the past makes us understand who we are, what we are at present, or why we live, think, and act the way we do today. Right? Now, for example, today I'm a teacher. Why did I become a teacher? Why not a footballer? Huh? Why not a kind of a singer or a dancer? Because I chose this in the past. After my college days, I chose this as my profession. All right, and so I'm continuing with this. So this for me it is not only a profession, it's a passion as well. So hence I'm a teacher today, or else I would have been in some indifferent field. Now you people today, you are an Anthonian. Why? Because you chose San Anthony. And the reason behind why you chose San Anthony, because you know the type, the quality of education, the standard of education that you get out here in this school. So hence you are an Anthonian. Likewise, so because of your past, today your present is connected. Next, by reading history, we gather knowledge about the modern world, that how it has evolved over the centuries, and the process of development that took place. Today we say that we are living in a developing country. India is considered as a developing country. So how can you say it is a developing country when you compare the present condition with the past, and then you come up to the conclusion that we are developing. So again, here also, when we compare our present with the past, right? So here also past plays an important role. So this, what is past? History. So these are various important points, or the reasons which makes us, or which motivates us to read history or to know about history. And also there are various other points. Like before I proceed on to the further points, I would like to tell you an activity which you can even try at home. Those people, those of you have got grandparents at home, grandma, grandpa, just sit with them, talk to them, ask them how was their life, or how did they live their life during their childhood days, and compare their childhood days with yours today, and you will come to know the difference, that how they had their life and how you are living. So that will also create a kind of an interesting thing in your mind to know more and more, or it will raise a kind of a curiosity to know more about history. Trust me children, history is, like as I told you previously, I think I told this class or which class I forgot, but let me tell you once again that when I was also a student, I used to wonder like why do I need to learn history? But Once you get to know the real taste of history, you will love history, because there are so many things that you get to know. Like for example, why did this happen, did past tense, why did this happen, how did it happen, what was the reason, and how it got connected. In fact, you enhance your knowledge with the help of history. And history is not only a portion of social science, but in fact, if you talk about maths, if you talk about science, in every field, you need to know the past. Like, for example, if you talk about science of various chemical reaction or physical, whatever, physics, biology and all, you have to know about the past, that because of such and such things, this took place. Like the theories in the maths or the various law of science, it's all connected with the past. So everywhere you will find history. Some other points why do we need to know about the past is, I will read the text. The study of historical past is also helpful in solving some of the problems that we are facing today. How? For example, history teaches us that wars should be avoided because they have long-lasting harmful effects and are destructive. Very good. Very, note this. That's very important. Like, see, you might have heard about this, what do you call, the Second World War, right? Dropping of the atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. And you know the destruction that it caused to the entire like humanity out there. In fact, it is being said that today also that particular places where these atom bombs were drawn, the entire soil, it has become a kind of a wasteland where no production, no agriculture, nothing takes place because of the harmful effects, the chemical effects of the atomic bomb. So with that, even what do we learn? We learn a new thing, that to avoid war. Because when wars takes place, it is not, yes, when war takes place between two groups, one wins, the other loses. But whoever wins, doesn't matter, whoever, say A, B, say whoever wins, even from that group, they will lose some people, they will lose some soldiers of theirs, they will be having so much of economic losses to human life, damages, right? So it's better not to involve in war. And how do we learn this? We learn this by looking at the wars which took place in the past. Next point, we also learn from history that a small band of united people can defeat a strong enemy. Right? Unity is strength. It's a very important point. Many times we think that this person is above us, that person is above us, he is a ruler, he is a leader, and even though that person does wrong, but we consider ourselves as like kind of a helpless person, that what can we do against him or her? But we can, if we are united. And how do we know this? History proves it. For example, look at the way our country got freedom. Correct? The reason behind, one of the main reason that why did the British ruled us for almost 200 years, it's not that they were powerful. No, not at all. In fact, they were very less in number. When we had a huge number of people during those days as well. Today, India ranks as second largest populated country in the world. But even during those days, we were no less. But then how come they ruled us for 200 years? The only reason is we were not united. That's the only reason. And there are various other factors, but the main reason is we were not united. If we would have been united, they wouldn't have been able to rule us. So unity, okay, do not go by the strength or do not go by the power. Just unity has got that much of power which no king, no ruler in this world have. If you are united, you can overcome, you can defeat anybody. Next, history also tells us about the study of various popular practices, various ideas, traditions, or institutions, various cultures which help us to understand the link between past and present. Okay, and also like the changes that these beliefs or practices have undergone over centuries. Like in our country, if I tell you some of the practices that we had on the earlier days, like if you heard about sati, there was a practice called sati, okay, where the women were asked to burn themselves, or they were forced on the funeral pyre of their husband. So that was one of the practices which our Indian society had during the old days, but which is no more, it has been banned. Now the question is, why was that practiced? First question. Who banned it? Why it is not being practiced now? Or what was the reason that it was stopped? So if you want to understand, or if you want to know the answers of this question, that why was sati being practiced in India, what was the logic, what was the reason behind it? And if that was justifiable, why it is not being continued now? And if it was unjustifiable, who was the one that, who started this? So all this, the answers of all these questions, when you try to dig the answers of all these questions, this is just one of the example. Like this, there are very more, like many much examples are there. Then that is called history. When you try to learn about the past, when you try to know about the present day's culture, that why we have to follow this tradition, why this, why not that. It's very interesting, as I told you. So these are various reasons about studying the past events. So whatever I have spoken just now, or I shared with you, underline these points. And if you get a question, that write 5 points or give 5 importance about the studying of the past event, you can frame it from here. So this paragraph is very important. Okay, take it seriously. All right. So just hold on, class. Let me see. Alright, so the next topic will tell us about the chronology of the various events which took place in the past. What do you mean by chronology? In simple term, if I explain you, it basically means, the various events which took place, arrangement of those events in sequence. That's called chronology. Okay, as per the happening of the events, chronology, arranging in sequence, arranging in order. All right. I'll see to this topic in the next class, okay? That's because I want you guys, children, that you must be, sorry, instead of hurrying, what is more important is that you must understand. Because until and unless you understand, and if you just mug up things without understanding, it's of no use. Do not only study for the sake of scoring marks or for the sake of examinations, not at all. Study for the sake of knowledge. If you have knowledge, you will automatically score mark. You will able to frame the answers by your own self. And if you don't know, without understanding, without getting to know that why am I studying, what is the reason of studying, if you just mug it up, it's of no use. You may be a good scorer, but it's of no use. You will stand nowhere in the future. So try to understand the things, okay? Try to get the concept behind it, the reason behind it, and then go further. So I will end up with this topic, that is importance of studying the past event. The remaining topic I shall continue in the next class. Stay at home, stay safe, study well.